Welcome to My Skeptical Sister.
I'm Megan, the skeptical one.
I'm Erin, the believer, and the one who's on vacation this week. So sorry, but you guys.
Or you're welcome.
Oh, I love that. Look at how you're spinning things.
Silver lining, remember?
That's right. You're really good at those. So you're going to get to hear some of our bonus content that we put out for Patreon. If you like it, guess what? You could join for just $3 a month.
What are you waiting for?
That's like actually half the price of a Starbucks coffee. Once.
One time.
One time.
I mean, come on, people.
I mean, $3. And you get 15% off merchandise. You get weekly content.
Weekly content of us.
A sticker, a magnet. If you wanted to go crazy and get $5 a month, you also get to hang out with us once a month at movie night.
And those are fun nights.
They really are fun nights. We get to escape up here. I'm like, sorry, children, you're not allowed to talk to me.
Right. And then we interact with each other. Everybody comes off their mics at the end of the night. So you get to talk to us. We get to talk to you. We get to know each other.
I know.
It's actually a lot of fun.
I know. We've made friends.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So if you want to be one of our actual friends, hello, come on.
Then pay us for it. Duh.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoy it and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Let me tell you a story. Welcome to Erin Ruins Books.
Ooh, and this is going to be a good one, I hear.
Yeah, it is very convoluted. And
oh my gosh, I'm going to try. It's during the day, so hopefully I'll stay awake.
Right. And I just found out because I started looking through TikTok. After I finish a book, I like to go back and be like, what are people saying about this book on TikTok? Turns out I really should have read this one a hard copy.
Oh, okay.
Because there are
pictures,
kind of notes
sketches.
Scribbled because it's kind of like a conspiracy theory book.
Ooh.
Okay, so the book is called We Used to Live Here. And it starts out, the only thing I knew about it was that people were saying it was creepy.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, sure, I'll read it. I don't want to hear anything else about it. Let's read it. And it was like a 17-week wait on Libby, so you know it's going to be a good one.
Right.
So
okay,
it starts out, I had a bubble. That was gross. It starts out with our main character, I want to say her name is Eve, hearing a knock on the door. She's waiting for her partner to get back home.
Okay.
But she's by herself. They've just bought this house and somebody knocks on the door and she opens it. It's just starting to lightly snow outside.
Okay.
And there's this little family of a mom.
Elves?
No. Mom, dad, 2 boys and a daughter.
That are knocking on their door?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at first she's she even looks out the window and she's like, should I open it? And she's like, well, it's a family.
It's a whole family.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. I've never had a whole family show up on my doorstep.
Right. So she opens, she's like, I guess I'll open it. But you can tell she's like, I don't know. She doesn't really want to open it, but she's like, I'll open it because this is weird. So she opens it and it's like, hello. And they said, the dad says, hey, I know this is really weird, but I used to live in this house. I grew up in this house and we were in the area and I would love to show my family. And he said, you can say no, it's fine. But is there any way we could just come in for a minute? And
that's so weird. Your family doesn't care where you used to live.
Yeah, so weird.
You drive by and show them.
Right.
And really, you're still the only person in the car that really cares about it.
For sure. Yeah, that's very true. But she is like, well, already a little apprehensive. She looks out and there's, she doesn't see their car. And she's like, where do they come from?
Yeah.
This is weird. Because they're kind of down the road a bit. And she says, where's your car? And he says, oh, we it's kind of got slippery out. So we didn't get all the way. So we kind of walked up here. We're freezing actually.
So weird.
Do you care if we come into your foyer? And she's like, okay. So she's like, let me just call my fiance real quick. Or partner. I don't remember if they're engaged or not, but she calls her girlfriend. And she's like, she doesn't answer. But she tells them, or no, maybe she says she sends them a text or something. And she's like, I'm so sorry. She doesn't really want you guys to come in.
Yeah, blame it on the other one.
Right. Yeah. And he's like, oh no, I totally get it. That's fine. He makes some kind of excuse. They're in the house.
So and so has to go to the bathroom or something.
Yeah. Oh no. It's that the little girl looks really sad. She's the only one who cares. The little girl looks really sad. And she's like, oh, okay, you say it's just gonna be a minute. And he's like, oh yeah, so fast. And she's like, oh, okay, fine. Just come in quickly, whatever. So she lets him go in and he's taking him through and he's like, oh, there used to be this weird chandelier made out of deer antlers.
Mm.
And she's like, yeah, that was like part of the storage that we cleared out, whatever. And she's mentally thinking like, oh yeah, that was weird. And he's like, oh yeah, look at all these little carvings that are like in the baseboards. He's like, my mom spent hours doing this. She thought it was so cool. And she's like, I hadn't even noticed that, whatever. She's like, oh, whatever, like get out of my house.
Right.
Well, then they go up in the attic for a minute, or like he wants to go up in the attic, and she's like, okay, whatever. And then he's like, could we go down to the basement? And she says, you know what? Like it's really time. Like I don't know when she's gonna get here. I think it's time to go. And he's like, no, I totally understand. And then his two big kids like are right off like they weren't right there. They start in some kind of brother fight. And so they get distracted for a minute, and when they come back in, the little girl is gone.
Oh.
And then they're like, oh my gosh, she does this sometimes. She plays hide and seek and she won't come out. Like she'll like bunker down. And she's like, well, can we go get her? And he's like, I mean, we got to find her, and then we got to like coax her out. Like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh my gosh. Like I was just trying to be nice.
Right.
I shouldn't have been nice. And now you're like politeness. Stuck in my house. So they're like, okay, I think she's probably in the basement. Because we mentioned the basement and you didn't want her to go. And the little girl kind of asked like, but can we please go? And she's like, no, we need to go. And the wife is kind of a bitch this whole time, by the way.
Interesting.
Obviously, she did not want to go to this house.
Well,
for good reason.
The same way.
But she's also like not very warm, whatever.
Okay.
So anyways, they like go to the basement. For some reason, just Eve, our main character, and the dad, Thomas, are the ones who go down the basement. I guess everybody else is looking upstairs.
Okay.
And they both have flashlights because their lights aren't on down there. They're like planning on like redoing the house and then flipping it and selling it.
Okay.
Or because they found like some foundational issues, just like bringing it to the ground and then selling the property. But she hasn't told this to Thomas. Excuse me. And then they're like separated in the basement. And she's like, I hate basements. They always freak me out. This basement is full of junk. And there's no lights down here. So she's got flashlights and she's looking, and she goes in this one room and she's like, oh, I see a cabinet. Like a little dresser, and she's like, oh, she's in there. And she's like, I even see like a little shiny eye in there.
Ew.
So she's looking at it. So she's like, okay, got her. She opens it, and now nobody's in there. And she's like, I really thought I saw somebody in there. But then she says, like, she keeps talking about how she's the one who gets really worked up, and her girlfriend, her fiance, partner, whatever, Charlie, is always like, it's fine, like, be rational, whatever. So she's like, I'm sure it was just a trick of the light.
Okay.
It's fine. So she's already a little bit like, ugh, get these people out of my house.
Right.
And she turns the corner and she sees Thomas, who's now standing like completely rigid still, really like everything is stressed. No. And the flashlight is shining on the floor, not pointing at anything. And she's like, what is he doing?
Oh my God.
So she's like, Thomas. She says it 3 times. And then she finally touches him, and he like comes out of a trance, and he's like, oh, you snuck up on me. And she's like, I said your name 3 times. And he's like, my gosh. Oh yeah, my hearing's not what it used to be. And she's like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, the good news is I found her. The bad news is she's like in this like deep crevice. He said, I used to hide in there all the time when I was a kid. I don't know how she found it so fast, but me and my sister used to hide in there. And he's like, I can't get her. Like, we can't go in and get her. It's not big enough. She got in because she's so little. He's like, we just got to leave her alone. We got to give her some space. And she's like, okay, I guess. But she's like, get out of here. And the whole time she's like, where is Charlie? Like, she was supposed to be right back.
Yeah.
And so she goes upstairs. She's still really worried about why Charlie's not there. But then Charlie walks in the door. And she's like, oh my gosh, thank you. And she's like, why are there people in our house? And Charlie would have been like, no, you cannot come in.
Right.
She's like, man, I wish you had been here. So Charlie is like, well, I guess it's okay. Like, well, I guess we'll have to wait. She's like, I just brought food back. Like, we're about to eat dinner.
Right. They're like, well, it's fine. We'll sit down and eat with you.
Well, they kind of do.
Oh
they
my
like come in and
gosh.
they're eating dinner. And she's like, this is so weird. And she's also like, I wonder why Charlie doesn't think it's this weird. Charlie's kind of like, I mean, I guess it's fine. We've got plenty of food. Come on, whatever.
Typically, Charlie would be kind of bitchy about it.
Right. And then while they're sitting there waiting for forever, the mom is like, so or they make them say grace when they sit down.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, okay. And the dad is trying to kind of brush it off like, oh, he is not trying to force anybody to say their prayers. But the mom is like, no, we're about to eat dinner. We have to say grace. And she's like, so are your parents still alive? They're like, yes. And they're like, do they know about your relationship? And
Oh
they're
my
like,
gosh.
yeah, why, bitch? Like she's
Right.
awful. And the dad is like, honey, like this
Yeah.
is not appropriate. And she's like, sorry, I was just trying to, learn about them.
Oh my
and
gosh.
yeah, she's awful. And so then finally, the little girl eventually comes out
Okay.
and she is like crying really hard. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And the mom's like, you are not doing this anymore. Like she's yelling at her, which granted, I would do that too.
I'd have fussed too.
Yeah. So the girl's like really crying and really saying she's sorry, whatever. And like, okay, we're gonna get out of your hair. This was way too long. We'll see you later. So they leave and you're like, oh, thank goodness. Because for some reason, like the moment I started reading this, I was scared. Like it just, the tension, the way they write tension in this book is amazing.
Okay.
So they go to leave and Eve is like, finally like, oh, thank goodness. I'm so glad they're gone. And Charlie's like, I was fine. Whatever. Like they were obnoxious, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not going to ruin our night or whatever. And then she was starting to get fired up though with the mom. She gets a phone call and she answers the phone and it's like the local thing saying that the bridge is out because of the weather.
Oh shit.
And that's the only way this family's going to be able to get off their property basically. So sure enough, they come knocking on the door.
Oh my gosh.
And now they have to spend the night.
Oh.
The weather's supposed to clear up in the morning, but these people are now in their house.
Okay.
So Eve is like, no. And she's like, we are not leaving them out there to freeze.
Yeah.
So they come in and she's like, lock the door. Like they freak me out. And she hasn't told her about the basement thing. She was like, that was weird.
Yeah.
And so they're in this room and she's like, Charlie, I'm really freaked out. I need you to, like, I just need you to be
calm,
on guard. Like I need you to, like,
I need you to understand there's something not right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so she's like, okay, I'm here. It's fine. And whole time, Charlie is very good at being like, I believe you. I don't think you're crazy.
I'll leave you.
I believe you.
Oh, believe you. Okay.
So anyways, in the middle of the night, they're asleep and they hear like a scream or something.
Okay.
And so they both jump out of bed and they run downstairs and the front door is open. Like, oh my gosh, what's happening? They find Thomas, Ice Crunch. They find Thomas.
Oh, sorry. Forgot we were recording for a minute.
They find Thomas outside.
Oh my gosh.
In the snow. And he's been sleepwalking. And like screaming.
He is screaming?
He's screaming.
Oh gosh.
And they wake him up and they're like, hey, buddy, you got to calm down. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I used to have night terrors when I was little. It's like, I haven't had them like as an adult. I don't know. This is so weird. And he comes inside. They get him calmed down. He has a beer, which he didn't drink earlier in the night. He's like, no, we don't drink. So anyways, that part's a little bit weird too. Next morning, they wake up. Now, Eve wakes up. Charlie's not in bed. And she's like, where is Charlie?
Yeah.
So she runs downstairs and they're cooking in her kitchen. They're like making a big breakfast.
Oh my gosh.
But not Charlie. And she's
the
like,
family is.
The family. And suddenly our little Tim and Eve is like, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, how do you like your eggs? And she's like, why are you all still here?
Yeah.
Like flat out. And they're like, oh, well, we're just going to make breakfast real quick and go. Charlie said we could cook in here. And she's like, where's Charlie? And they said, oh, she said she had to run into town. And she's like, why would she leave me? She knows I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
This is weird. And she's like, I think it's time for you guys to go. And they're like, oh, we've got all these dishes. And she's like, just go. So they're like, okay, we got it. We'll go. So they leave. Oh, this is where it gets foggy. She is like, thank goodness they're gone. She calls Charlie and gets a hold of Charlie. And Charlie is like, first she's like, hello? Who is? Oh, no. Hold on. Eve's lost her phone.
Okay.
At some point in this night, she's lost her phone. And so she is like, oh, and this family, this weird family, they're all taking like a technology break. They don't have a phone either. None of them have a phone. While moving cross country, they're like, no, our church said we should get rid of our phones, whatever. So they're like, okay, that's weird. So for some reason, she's like, I need to call. I need to call somebody. You guys need to get out of my house. I'm going to go to the neighbors. I'm going to walk to the neighbors and call Charlie, find out, make sure she's okay, because y'all are freaking me out now. And so they're like, okay, we'll get all of our stuff. We'll clean all this up real quick, and then we're out of your hair. We'll be gone before you come back. She's like, okay. So she goes and she walks this neighbor, And the neighbor, she's never met her before. She's like, I know this is weird, but, is there any way I could use your phone? And she's like, sure. So she calls Charlie and she says, hey, why did you leave? And she said, I told you I had to meet with a realtor. She said, what do you mean? She said, I woke you up and said, I have to run to town real quick. Are you okay if I go? And you waved me off like, yeah, it's fine. And she's like, oh, that's weird, but it does sound like something I would do. Like if I was really asleep.
Yeah.
Maybe I did tell her. She's like, maybe I'm overreacting. And she's like, well, Thomas, at one point she says the name Thomas. And so when she gets off the phone, the lady's like, are you talking about, oh, I forgot. We're going back. When they were inside after Thomas had been sleepwalking, he was like, this house does weird things to my brain. Like it freaks me out sometimes. Because
and that's why you felt the need to come back to it.
Yeah. He had also almost said before they left the first time, have you ever like seen anything in the house? And so that already got planted. I forgot that too. But anyways, she's like, when they're in the house drinking the beer that first night, he says something like, yeah, my sister, she had a mental breakdown here. Like she started to believe that we were not her family and she didn't trust us. And like she had a full breakdown. And I always kind of blame myself, but I blame this house. And like my parents were really strict and, whatever. So that's something that's planted. Okay. So now she's on the phone with Charlie, who's being kind of weird.
Okay.
Because at first, and maybe this part's later. Okay. So anyways, she's like, yeah, you told me to go to the realtor. I went, whatever. And she gets off the phone and the neighbor's like, I heard you say Thomas, like this is a long shot, but you're not talking about Thomas, whatever his name is. And she's like, yeah. She's like, oh my gosh, I used to babysit for him. And she's like, oh, how was he? She's like, I think he's kind of weird. But she's like, oh yeah, he was always a real sweet kid. And she was like, what about a sister? And she's like, well, he didn't have a sister.
What?
And she's like, yeah, he didn't. She goes, oh, well, they had that one girl who stayed with him for a little while, but that wasn't her sister. And it's like a different name and everything. And she's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, did he tell you about like what happened to him as a kid? She's like, no, what are you talking about? Apparently this girl who like their family took in for a little while, like went crazy and stabbed him with a pin.
Oh my
Stabbed
gosh.
Thomas with a pin, like when he was asleep 36 times. It's crazy. He's still alive.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, he definitely did not tell me that. That's really weird. And he also said his sister, and he also said it was a different name. So she's like, what is happening? Everything is weird. So she's now walking back to her cabin and the dog runs off, like runs out of her leash. And she's like, oh crap. So she's like walking through. She thinks she sees a figure of somebody and she's like, there's no footprints. This is weird. So she kind of follows the footprint and her dog. And then she loses the figure. The dog runs into this old cabin that she's never known was there. And it's like covered wall to wall with like conspiracy theory notes.
Ew.
And like every other chapter would switch off from Eve's perspective and then to like this document that is apparently from the cabin of like this conspiracy theory about the house that she lives in. Like weird things happen in this house. And one thing is like some fire happened and like things aren't adding up. Like all these things are happening weird. There's this one story about these boys who went to the house on like a dare.
Okay.
And when they found the boys, one of them was scared, like rigid scared, kind of like Thomas was.
Oh, weird.
And the other one is like being questioned by he's talking about the police video and he's like, I don't know what he saw in that basement, but it really freaked him out. And he's like, and I'm scared and I don't know what's going to happen. And they're like, we have no evidence of any of the other boys you were talking about. And we can't find like that you guys exist. There's no documentation. Like we don't know who you guys are. Whatever you're telling us is not true. And they're like, it's true. These are our names. We go to the school. And like, you don't go to that school.
What?
So everything about this house, like you go in and everything turns weird.
Okay.
It's like
weird.
Yeah. Okay. So then she gets back to the house. And they're still there.
Okay.
And she's like,
now they're cooking lunch?
No, but she's like, why are you still here? I'm like, we didn't want to leave it unlocked. We didn't know what to do. And she's like, get out of my house. I'm like, okay. She says, we need, like the roads are bad again. I don't know. We need those, our tires can't go. We got it, something. She's like, okay, I'll get those little like metal things you put around. She's like, I've got some. They'll fit your car. Get out of my house. So she goes up to the attic. And when she goes up to the attic, her flashlight turns off. And she's like, oh no, my flashlight doesn't work. And then she turns and there's a woman standing there.
What?
And she says every time the woman takes a breath in, she like gets really close.
Ew.
Yeah, it's horrible. And she's like about to be right on top of her.
Ew.
I know it's horrible. And she's about to be right on top of her. And then the attic door opens and Thomas is there like pulling her out.
Oh my gosh.
And she wakes up on her couch downstairs and she's like,
what the hell?
What happened? Did you see something? They're like, no, we didn't see anything, but we heard you screaming. So we went up there. She's like, what? So she's like, I just need you guys gone. So they go, now leaving her, whatever. Charlie gets home. All the time I'm like, Charlie's gone forever. Charlie wasn't. She was there. And she's like, we got to get out of this house. Like, I don't want to be in this house. Something is weird.
Yeah.
I thought I saw somebody upstairs. That guy freaks me out. That whole family is weird. We got to go. And Charlie's like, okay, I understand. We'll go. We'll spend the night somewhere. So they, like on their way walking somewhere, she's like,
But did they leave the family there? So like, okay.
No, the family's gone.
Okay.
And they walk past some window and she's like she's walking by herself or something. She sees that a stained glass window that was in their house is now a regular window. And she's like, he's doing something to this house. Like, what in the world? It's changing. The house is changing. And she's like, there's no way the house is changing, honey. And she's like, that stained glass window is not there anymore. I'm not going in this house. So she goes out to the car. Charlie's like, I just have to go get my stuff. I will be right back. Give me 5 minutes. So she goes upstairs. She like can see Charlie in the window. Mm-hmm. And then she comes back out and she's like, you're right. That window is different. This is so weird. What's happening? At one point she thought that the son had her phone. She like saw the same phone and she went to go. She was like, that's my phone. It's my phone. And then the dog was like, oh no, they're fighting. So he went to like defend his owner and it bit the son. Oh. And then the son dropped the phone, but it was now his phone. And she was like, I swear that was my phone. That's when the family finally leaves. And the mom's like, you'll be hearing from us, whatever. Whatever, bitch. You're invading this house.
Yeah.
So anyways, they go and
also take care of your son because you're supposed to be on a technology break.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So anyways, they go to this hotel and the owner of the hotel is like, so do you need 2 rooms? And she's like, no, 1 room's fine. And she's like, 2 beds? She's like, no, 1. And so she upcharges her. And she's like,
gosh.
Charlie's really pissed off. And he was like, it's fine. We'll just take the room. I don't care. Charge us what you want. I'm not going back to that house.
Right.
And then Charlie's really mad about it. And she's starting to think like while Charlie's talking, Eve is like, everything has been weird since they got here. Like, is this my Charlie? Like things are being a little bit weird. So she starts questioning her. And she's like, it's just like what the sister said. Like, it's not her people. Like, she keeps saying it's not her family.
Oh,
She starts thinking this isn't my Charlie. So she's like, how do we meet? And Charlie tells her, like, in detail. She's like, are you kidding me? And she's like, I just need to know. And so she tells her in detail how they met. And she's like, okay, that's right. So she's like, okay, fine. I believe you. This whole experience is making me crazy.
Right.
It's fine. So they go to sleep. And then she hears a phone ring. And she's like, okay, Charlie's phone is ringing in the middle of the night. And she looks and it says it's her phone that she's lost. And so she sneaks into the bathroom and she's like, this is weird. She even thinks like, why don't I just wake up Charlie? But she's like, I'm just going to answer it quietly. So she answers it and it's Charlie.
What?
Saying, Eve, is that you? Can you hear me? And she's like, Charlie? She's like, I'm in the house. That woman is not me. That's not me.
Oh my gosh.
She said, when I went in to get my stuff, I never came back out. I'm in the house. So, but don't come for me. There's something really wrong. You just get Shiloh, the dog, and go. Don't come back.
Yeah, right. Like that would ever happen.
Right. So then when she opens.
Who's the woman in bed with her?
Right. She opens the bathroom door. Charlie's standing right there. And she's like, who was that? And she was like, oh, it was the realtor. They want to meet with me. Or I'm trying to get a hold of him. And she's like, it's 3 a.m. And she's like, I know, but I really got to get this taken care of. And she like runs out of the hotel room and she's like, Charlie is like, hey, what are you doing? Like, no. Like she's running after her and she's gone. She's like, I'm going back to this.
Yeah, but it's just the house trying to get her to come back.
Right. Who's who? Who's real? It's so good.
I want to crunch this ice so bad.
Okay, crunch away while I take a drink. Okay. So then she gets in the car. They're almost out of gas.
Okay.
She's like, shit. So she goes to a gas station. She scrambles to find some cash. She doesn't even have shoes on. She's got like her socks on.
Oh my gosh.
She ran out. And she pays for a little bit of gas. I don't know why that part's important. She really thinks she's going to get arrested at one point because she seems crazy. And there's a police officer in the gas station who's like, why aren't you wearing shoes? So anyways, she's on her way to the house. She gets to the house. Okay, here's another.
I just love that there's so many parts that you can't remember, but you're like, let me tell you about this part in the gas station. It's like,
it's not important.
That's probably the part you could have left out.
Yeah, I know. Okay. She gets to the house. She gets to the house and...
that's probably an important part. It takes place at the house.
And when she walks in, I think this is when it happens. When she walks in, everything looks different.
Okay.
Like it looks like it's in the 50s or 60s. Wallpaper's different. House looks different. And
now Thomas's house, isn't it?
And Thomas is there with his family. And you thought the ice was bad.
Sorry, that lemon tastes so good.
Disgusting.
I just sucked on a lemon. Okay, I'm gonna lime. So wait, Thomas as like current day Thomas, or like Thomas as a little boy?
Current day Thomas with his family, who are all as if they remember nothing else being different.
Whoa,
they're all like this current,
but like this is our house.
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody's like, oh, I'm so glad we got that lady out. They're just like, this is our house.
Like,
whatever.
How can we help you?
The mom's not drinking wine when she originally said that she didn't drink. Okay, and then let's see. She's like, what the hell is happening? All I need to do is find Charlie and then get out of here. So she sneaks down into the basement, which she doesn't want to do, but she's like, something's going on in that basement.
Look in that cabinet.
Yeah, there's something to do with ants. She keeps seeing ants whenever something scary is about to happen.
Ew.
So she goes down to the basement. She sees Charlie. And Charlie says, Charlie looks rough.
Oh,
like she's been there for weeks.
Oh, gosh.
Like she's like gaunt and like she looks totally different. And she's like, what are you doing? This isn't right. You're not supposed to be here. And then I don't know what happens to her. She like runs away from her or something. And then Thomas finds her. Oh, no. She hears Thomas coming down the stairs and she's like, oh, no. So she goes and she hides in that same cabinet that she found earlier.
She thought she was in, or that she thought somebody else was in.
Yeah. And then she can see Thomas. He walks in the room and she's like, oh my gosh, he can see me. And there's for some reason an axe on the floor. And she's like, or no, a hammer. She has a hammer on the floor. And he says, what's this doing here? And he takes it and he puts it up on something. And she's like, okay, there's my weapon. So she leaves. She grabs.
He's like, let me just show you what to use to kill me.
Yeah. So she takes the hammer upstairs. And then he's like, he catches her. And he's like, Emma, not her name. What are you doing with that hammer? And she's like, what? And he said, listen, sister, I love you.
Uh-oh.
But if you're going to live with us, like you're starting to scare the kids. You've really got to calm down. He's like, I know you've been through a lot. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like she's the sister now.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like living at their house. It's all really weird. So he's like, come back to dinner. And she's like, okay. So she sits down. She's like, I'm just going to like go with this for a minute.
Yeah. Pretend.
Yeah. Excuse me. And they have a real awkward dinner where.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah. Where. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to cut all that. It's so gross.
So good, though.
Good. I'm happy for you. Where the daughter is looking at her, like looking at Aunt Emma, who's really Eve, really questioning everything. And finally she goes, what happened to your tattoo? And she's like, I've never had a tattoo. And she's like, you had a tattoo on your wrist. So like the little girl's picking up on some. Yeah. It's like all these different parallel universes that are like flip-flopping at once. It's really weird. And then they bring up the bitchy mom is like, so when are you moving out? Like real straightforward. And she's like, and she's like, the dad is like, listen, honey, we're just gonna wait. Oh, I forgot to mention that at one point. She finds a guy in the cabin and he says, it's not what they look like. That's not what they look like. What does that mean? I don't know. And then later at some point, I just thought of another creepy line. Oh, the boys who were scared.
Yeah.
They had said that they heard somebody saying, that's not my name.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's what they heard in the basement. And then they got scared. Okay. Back to the dinner. She's like, where is Charlie? Like, I just need to find Charlie and go. And the mom's like, when are you moving out? And she's
as soon as I find Charlie.
Right. So they're like, do you mean Charlotte? Do you mean Charlotte, your ex from a few years back? Maybe Charlotte could help you get resettled somewhere. And Thomas is like, honey, we shouldn't be talking about Charlotte. Like that was years ago and they ended really badly. And she's like, what? No, we didn't end. Her name is Charlie. And what are you talking about? Like, she's not my ex, whatever. So anyways, it goes through this whole thing where while she's at the dinner, she starts thinking, like, they are so convincing that she's like,
am I crazy?
Am I crazy? Like, have I always been his sister? She's like, this is not the case.
Yeah.
Like, everything is weird. She finds this journal at one point that's from his sister's point of view. Oh, where she's also finding this like pictures that Thomas's mom used to paint, and it's all of these like 3 people, not Thomas. And then there's one picture where Thomas looks like he was put in after the fact. And like from Anne, I think was the sister's name, was saying like, this guy is not my brother. He came to our house and now my parents think he's part of our family.
What?
And he's not our family. And I know he's not. And now they're different. They're so strict. They never were strict before. And they are calling me a new name. And this is not
what.
She's like, I'm not crazy. But you're like, maybe she is crazy. But maybe Thomas is something weird. And then at one point, Thomas alludes to the fact that her name is actually Eve.
Oh.
It gets so creepy. And then there's like this big, at the dinner, she's like, okay. Thomas called her Eve at one point, and she's like, like that's what she's like. No, I know I'm not crazy.
Yep, I'm not crazy. Right there, you slipped.
So she grabs the corkscrew.
Ooh,
and she
shoves it in his eye.
She holds it to the mom's neck.
Ooh.
And she's like, I
never liked this bitch.
She's like, just give me Charlie and I'll go. You can have the house. I don't care. I just want Charlie. And then we're on. And so,
and then we're on.
Then we're gone.
Oh, gone. Okay.
And so, he's like, oh my gosh. Kids go upstairs. So the kids go upstairs. And while she's yelling, the mom takes a steak knife, stabs it in Eve's leg.
Come on, Eve.
And in the scuffle, she accidentally stabs the mom
she really does
in the neck, kills her.
Oh, shit. Well, you shouldn't stab him with a steak knife.
Right? And the dad is like, no. And he calls the police. He's like, my wife, she's just been murdered. And they take Eve to a mental institution.
Whoa.
And at this point, the book is summing up. We have very little left.
Oh, my gosh.
And Eve is like, and now I'm stuck in this mental institution. I feel
like this has all happened in one night.
I know. He comes to visit her and he's like, sister, really, like, I forgive you. When you get out of here, you can come back. Like, I know that you were having a delusional moment. And like she's been in here for 3 years now. She's been in this insane asylum mental institution for 3 years.
What?
And it ends with him basically being like, we want you back in our house, whatever. Charlie would want it that way. And she's like, Charlie, you are messing with me, Yeah. And then the very last page is another one of those documents where it's somebody has written on an online forum. She's like, I can't believe I'm writing on this, but my partner, Eve, disappeared 3 years ago.
What?
And it's from Charlie's perspective. If she's like she just went missing and I can't find her. And that's how the book ends. I did a horrible job explaining it.
This book sounds awful.
No, it's so good. It's so good and so scary.
No, it leaves so much.
Oh, it ends
What's
horrible.
happening in this book? Why?
It ends horribly.
The whole book.
I know. And it's going to be a Netflix movie and it's going to do a much better job.
It better, because I have some.
I'm telling you, it was convoluted and confusing.
Was he really in on it the whole time?
Yeah, I think so. I think Thomas.
So it wasn't like some slip knot, like weird.
No, I think Thomas was
but
like
how
some
did the
weird
stained glass get to different glass?
I think he can like alter realities and he can make you see things that aren't real.
So he is the one doing it all.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, it's confusing. I'm still confused.
Me too.
It was so good, though.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
I loved it.
Okay.
And I just want
to say this. When you go into this thing saying, like, I cannot wait to ruin this for you, I'm now always going to be a little more hesitant because I can think about 3 other books you've ruined for me that I loved a lot more.
I know, but it was so scary.
It wasn't as scary when you retell it.
I bet. Sorry. This is why I gave everybody the preemptive, go read this book.
Yeah, go read it first, please, everybody.
Yeah.
And then let me know all the scary parts that she left out.
Yeah, I really feel like I left out a lot.
Oh, but not that gas station part.
Not the gas station.
You made sure to include that.
She was in socks,
That
Megan.
little gem. She was in socks and bought gum and
No,
gas.
she bought gas. She didn't buy gum.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It was weird,
Oh, my
though.
gosh, you're a nut. Okay. Yeah, it sounds weird.
It was great.
Yep. Okay.
All right. We love y'all.
Bye.